Hey, I'm Pat, the resident game god, here to welcome you to another episode of GodAwful Games. We've had a lot of requests, and this game particularly came up more than any other game. It's really cool because it's a Konami game, and of course it's GodAwful. You know what I'm talking about, Castlevania Dracula X for the SNES. I really think that asking people to donate on Patreon or one of those other crowdfunding sites is really cheesy. I mean, a lot of YouTubers that I watch do it, but what are they going to do? Not make YouTube videos if they don't get a donation? It doesn't make any sense. So what we're going to do is we're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to say that once we hit 500 subscribers, this episode is going to come out. It's going to be a 4-part series. Part 1 will come out at 500 subscribers, Part 2 at 1,000, Part 3 at 1,500, Part 4 at 2,000. Right now we're just shy of 200 subscribers. We totally missed the window on our 100 subscriber spectacular, but that's okay because I think doing something big and awesome and special for every one of my fans is the right way to go. And that's why we're going with this exclusive episode for Castlevania Dracula X, which is a game that I know you all want to see. Just for you, because you tuned into this episode, I'm going to answer 10 of the most common questions we at Game Gods have been asked.
Bonus stage.
Number 1, why did you start YouTube? This one started as a New Year's resolution. I've been watching YouTube pretty regularly since 2011. Actually, come to think of it, Ego Raptor's sequelitis videos were the first real video game review, a retro review, that I ever saw on YouTube, and I was absolutely blown away. I subscribed to his channel immediately, and if he would have done more episodes of sequelitis, I would probably pick him as my #1 inspiration. Unfortunately, there's only like 3 or 4 episodes of sequelitis, so I immediately switched over to watching AVGN. I thought his channel was amazing, and then sooner or later I was turned on to JonTron, Pro Jared, Game Theories, That One Video Gamer, aka The Completionist, GameSack, Dex the Swede, Larry Bundy Jr. Then I moved to another house, a bigger house, in 2014, and finally had a space for my video game basement. And the weirdest thing happened. I stopped having the desire to collect video games. I still buy them, but not at the extent that I used to. I used to go to trade shows, I used to go to game swaps, not anymore. So what the hell was I going to do with my entire collection of video games? Then it occurred to me, have a video game show where you show people your video game basement, play video games, which we technically haven't really done on Game Gods yet, but we're on our way, believe me. So, long story short, it was a New Year's resolution, and I've stuck with it ever since. It was my New Year's resolution for 2016, and I haven't given up on it. This is actually the first New Year's resolution that I've honored. Number 2, how did you come up with your YouTube name? Well, that one actually was incredibly easy. Game Gods, it's got a nice ring to it, but really, the reason behind it is, out of everyone that I know, I've got the greatest video game collection. So I'm considered the Game God. But there are other people, and part of the reason why I wanted to do this channel is to have people submit videos to us showing their video game collection. In Kingston, Ontario, there's a Game God. In Toronto, there's a Game God. In Chicago, there's Game God. There's Game Gods everywhere. So let us unite and talk about our awesome video game collections. How long have you been doing YouTube? That one's super easy. Our first upload was April 1st. Our channel was created before then, but I would say probably the first day that we went live was April 1st with an intro video because we were still working on the actual video that we wanted to upload for April 1st. So do the math, it's October. It's been about 6 months. And what a wild and crazy ride it's been. What do you use to record? Well, there's 2 real components to the channel. There's 3 real components to the channel. There's 3 real components to the channel. The film stuff, the audio stuff, and the game captures. I film myself with my Nikon D3100 camera. I record audio with my D3100. I just remove the video aspect from it. And last, I do my game captures with my Elgato Game Capture HD60. What do you use to edit? Vegas Pro 13. I think it's the best one. It's got a built-in green screen or chroma key, and it also allows for After Effects in program without the use of a separate program. It's great. I highly recommend it. How did you decide on these tools? Well, that's really simple. I already had the camera, I bought the capture device, and the program, it's pretty pricey, 700 bucks. But the alternative to that is Creative Cloud, which allows for the use of After Effects, which technically has probably more effects than Vegas, but it's $50 per month US, and if something happened and I wasn't able to do any video cutting, shooting, or editing in a given month, I'm out that $50 US. So it's better to do a one-time purchase. Vegas one time cost me $700, and I haven't looked back since. On average, how long do you spend on each video editing? This is the #1 question we get. This is the most popular question we get. If you take a look at our videos, they're pretty high quality. I don't just put out videos every other day. It's usually once a week, or maybe once every other week, maybe even once a month. And it takes me 10 to 40 hours to edit these videos. Do you make your own thumbnail? Not at all. I do have Photoshop. Maybe at one point I might consider doing that, but I think it's kind of cool to look at those 3 options that YouTube presents when you upload a video and just pick the best one. There's this cool randomness to it. There's this cool randomness to it. There's this cool randomness to it. And sometimes you get really cool pictures. Like if you look at TMNT Tournament Fighters Part 2, that was an actual scene from the episode, and I thought it was the perfect thumbnail, and I haven't looked back ever since. Who makes your intro and outro? This guy. Would you ever quit YouTube? That's a tough question. That's an interesting question. I would like to say no, but if I saw myself slowing down, I would like to find some kind of a protege to sort of hand over the reins and keep Game Gods going. That's it for questions. Join us next week. We have a zombie survival episode coming out. Swords, guns, and all sorts of craziness. I want you to watch it. It's our best episode yet. It's our most badass episode yet. And it's a great way to wrap up October. Halloween month. Thanks for watching.